people have been unsubscribing from my channel because my views on Charlie Kirk. And luckily, more people have actually countered that loss. In some ways, you could call it a bit of a filter to get rid of the snowflakes on this channel. But don't get me wrong, I'm quite happy for people to be loving and caring about others. I don't consider that being a snowflake anyway, because sometimes it requires a degree of strength to love your family, especially some family members. You might love them, but you might not necessarily like them. Been there, done that. But my views on Charlie Kirk are my views. I ain't gonna lie to people. I've said it so many times. Charlie Kirk was a fascist bastard. And now he's a dead fascist bastard. Do I think he should have been shot? No. No. Do I think he should have been shamed back under his stone? Yes. We don't need people like Charlie Kirk indoctrinating youngsters. The young who have malleable minds haven't quite found their way yet politically. They get manipulated by people like Charlie Kirk by telling them, why should you pay for the black people? Oh yeah, why should I pay for the black people? Well, it fails to tell them that the black people are paying for the white people as well. The man's a fraud. He was a fraud. He wasn't religious. No. He was somebody who used the Bible and writings within the Bible's Psalms and what have you, verses, as a useful tool. And if anyone's seen the Book of Eli, the movie, you'd probably understand what I'm getting at here. It's a way of control on people, a way of manipulating people, and it's been that way for centuries. It's a useful tool, it's a weapon against people's sensibilities, their feelings, to indoctrinate, just like religion has done for, like say, centuries. Not just Christian, Catholic or Muslim or Sikh or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all a form of indoctrination to explain stuff that at the time was unexplainable. And now they're just looking for excuses because science pretty much explains a lot of an evolution. Adam and Eve, what the bollocks are, is fig leaves. But you see, I said I think it was my second video I made about Charlie Kirk, about, they're quite close to the time of him being shot. So I didn't have all the information, I'll be honest with you. But at the time I made a video and I said to you that I was worried about Donald Trump, how he's going to use it. And yes, he has. He's used to make out as it's the left and they're all trans people, that trans shooters. It's just so unnatural. It's just ridiculous, let's be honest. But see, the damage is done. They published all this stuff. The damage is done. You've got all these mad hatters out there doxing people who spoke out against Charlie Kirk. And maybe they've been a little bit extreme. Some of them, they've expressed their feelings, not just, against his views, but with glee. I think that's a little bit much, really. I don't wish him to be dead. I just wish him to be gone away, if you know what I mean. Because he's dangerous. He's dangerous, just like Nick Fuentes, just like Tate Brothers, they're all they're dangerous. And I don't think they do anyone any favours, just like the MAGA crowd, just like Donald Trump. Don't do anyone any favours. They're all narcissists, you see. Just think about this for a second, alright? There was potentially 1,000 girls that were molested by rich men. Yet the only person in feckin' prison, if you can call it a prison now since she's been moved, is Elaine Maxwell. All these rich men have used their money, including Prince Andrew, who got mummy to her, late Queen, to hand over 13 million odd pounds or dollars or whatever it was. Money by silence, isn't it? Threats by silence. Cohen threatened, Trump's lawyer threatened women. And these apparently godly people, so-called Christians. They're not godly people. And as an atheist, I don't believe in all that shit. Anyway, you're going to love me or hate me for that. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care that people have been unsubscribing from this channel. No. End of the day, I have a point of view. You have a point of view, an opinion, you could call it, I suppose. A feeling, a sentiment, your core beliefs. And my core beliefs are that I don't want to do harm to others. I want people to have the best chances in life. I don't want people to be ripped off by the rich classes or the government. I want my children to have the best chances in life, and my grandchildren, that they possibly can have. And that does require effort. By the parents, the relatives, etc. And themselves. It requires effort. Doing the decent thing requires effort. Helping others require effort. But when we live in a world where people don't have time, they're working 3 jobs just to try and make ends meet, and they're still failing at food costs and bills, etc., etc. How are they supposed to get by? Clearly they fail. They get depressed. They end up on antidepressants if they can afford them. If they can't, I don't know if you checked the suicide rates recently, but they are going through the roof. Especially amongst the farmers in the United States. But this mentality goes across around the world. It's not just in the United States it's happening everywhere. It's like a feckin' disease. Pandemic, you could say. And after the shooting and Trump's rhetoric and others regarding the so-called left, Nancy Mason, what have you, making out it was a left-wing shoot when it's not, as somebody who's unaffiliated with the left or the right, brought up in the Republican family, Mormons and all that, and yet the left gets blamed. Yes, he's anti-fascist, but just because you're an anti-fascist don't mean to say you're left-wing. You could be not right-wing, but you could be on the right and be anti-fascist. You could be a conservative, be anti-fascist, a Republican, be anti-fascist. Of course you can. It's just daft. Who really wants to be associated with Stalin and people like that? Oh, Charlie Kirk. The fake religious messiah. Somebody who had his own cult following. And it was a cult. His cult following wanted him to be, they believed that he could be the next president of the United States. It's madness. Just because he managed to indoctrinate these people into a trap. They believed in the cult so much, it overtook their lives. Just like these crazy feckers who were in Idaho, capital. There you go.
This guy's gonna get fucked. Some guy. get fucked, son.
You know, and maybe capital yourself, you know, Charlie Kirk. But he's not really saying anything less than what Charlie Kirk said. Charlie Kirk effectively said F black people. F women. Well, not in that sense as dirty old figures. No. But, you know. And trans people, gay people. Especially minorities. He did no different. He had no empathy for anybody. He said that. He made it quite clear. So why should we have empathy for him? He actually made a statement about the Second Amendment and a few shootings was worth it to keep the Second Amendment. He got his wishes. Now, I'll reiterate, I'm not condoning the violence. No. But he's gone. As far as I'm concerned, it's not how I'd want him to be gone. At least he's gone. It just had to be more permanent than I thought it would have been. I was hoping that maybe someday, at one of his masturbates, that he would have been put back under his shell, like, I don't know, maybe by Dean Withers, for instance. I was hoping, since Charlie Kirk was refusing to debate Gene Withers. If you're wondering who Gene Withers is, allow me to elaborate.
I want to take a second to issue.
Let me just get it up here, like I say. There we are. Nearly there. There he is.
We don't want to hear shit when you lose your Medicaid. We don't.
This is going to be somewhat of a leaving.
We don't. Wrong buttons. There we are.
I've had it with Mr. Kirk, big time.
Is it true that he refuses to debate you?
It is true.
Spill the tea.
He explicitly refuses to debate me. There's quite a story here.
Okay, spill it.
Okay. So, this is pretty hot. In fact, there's a lot about this that I haven't publicly spoken about, but I'll publicly speak about it now. Why not?
Oh, yay, let's go. Breaking news.
Before the election, I went on Jubilee, and there was specifically an episode where Charlie Kirk was surrounded by 20 liberals, including me, and we all sat down. I debated him. It was fun. I think I destroyed him. It was awesome. But anyways, after this episode, I was able to get a hold of the number of his manager. And after this Jubilee video aired, and everybody was like, dang, Dean Withers made a good point. I reached out to his manager and I was like, hey, I would love to have a follow-up debate and sit down with Charlie Kirk. Can we get this done? And he was like, well, let me ask Charlie. I'll get right back to you. He goes and he asks Charlie. Charlie's like, sure, I'll do another sit-down debate with Dean Withers. His manager, Ryan, sends me back a message saying that. And I'm like, okay, let's schedule it. When are we going to do this? And he's like, right after the election, we're going to do this. Okay. The election passes. I reach back out to his manager. When is this happening? Left me on red. Open the text, left it on red. Couple of months go by, I try again, same thing. Okay, then I drop it. But then I end up going down to Texas A&M when Charlie Kirk was down there doing a sit down, prove me wrong. And I'd go down there because I really want to talk to him.
Right.
So I get up to his booth. I'm the first in line. I think he said that, I cut in front of everybody. No, I was the first person there. 3 hours early. Right?
He's mad. You cut her.
What a titty baby. What a baby.
And then I bring the camera with me, and I'm explicitly denied entry into the line to debate him. And he will say, his staffers will say, it's because Dean didn't go to the school. They were letting people in that didn't go to the school. People are coming on the mic explicitly saying that they didn't go to the school. Other influencers that were there with me that Charlie Kirk knew didn't go to the school got the chance to talk to him, but he didn't want to talk to me. That's fine. He ran from me. There was a clip of Trump supporters in the crowd actually asking him to debate me, and then him going, it's fine, whatever. He ran from me. Now, I ended up recording that. I posted it online, and it got 50 million views across my social media platforms.
I love that.
Yeah. Charlie Kirk running.
Charlie Kirk's a pussy. I love it.
And then one last part of the story here. After I posted these clips on my social media, Charlie Kirk's manager then reached out to me and said, hey, Kirk would love to have you sit down as a guest on his podcast and have a debate with you. I even got a call from his executive producer saying, let's get this done. Let's select a date. Let's select a time. This is going to be awesome. And after that, I then sent out a tweet saying Charlie Kirk has agreed to sit down. He stopped running. That was 4 months ago. I haven't heard a word or a peep from them since. I tried reaching back out. He just simply doesn't want to chat.
Anyway, that was iHip News. That has been which Dean Withers has been interviewed, and Dean Withers is a sharp cookie. I mean, he is just he is sharp as a pin. He really is. But that's that. I think I've kind of expressed how I feel about it all, and if people want to unfollow me, what have you, well, that's fine. It's fine. It's just how it is, and we all have a difference of opinion. If a difference of opinion is just that mine's right. Sorry. Anyway, please click the old like button and maybe subscribe to the channel. Because then you get a warm, fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. But yeah, that was a bit of an ad hoc video for you, but I just wanted to put that out there because there's a lot flying about at the moment. The geezer who's, the apparent shooter. I forgot his name already. I know it's something Tyler Robinson, and who is not a lefty. No, he's not on the right. He's non-partisan. He says, and he just has a point of view, and it flirts about from one side to the other. He's not hard left or hard right. He's pretty much in the middle, to be fair. But he is anti-fascist, which sounds like a good thing to be. A bit like being woke. That actually sounds like quite a good thing to be. Where you want to be aware of other people. In other words, empathy. Which Charlie Kirk said that he thinks is a overused word. Like it's some kind of new age word, he was saying. Christ almighty. So do I think Charlie Kirk is a loss? No, not in the slightest. Do I think that this is going to be the start of a hell of a lot of doxing and fascism, violence, maybe more shootings? Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of people get hurt. And that is sad. That I do feel sad about. But, we do live in crazy times, don't we? Anyway, if you want to support the channel, go on Patreon or buy us coffee. Links down below. Also has memberships and super thanks. I'd like to thank people who have already done that, because I couldn't do the channel without people's support. I really couldn't. So I do appreciate that. But we're also doing a rewilding here in France. We're literally planting a load of trees. Because I like trees, yes. I like trees. The sort of lungs of the earth and all that. And of nature and shit like that. So I do a lot of that sort of stuff. So we plant a lot of trees. We're doing 1,000 trees plus on 2 hectares of land that we've got here in France. But also, I'm making bat boxes, bird boxes and stuff like that, you see. And any contribution is very welcome, and I'll make signs to go with the trees, better you have a tree, basically. I'll put it in the ground for you, or bird box, or whatever you want. Anyway, either way, it's about providing habitats, really. It's not just about the trees. It's about the little animals. I like little animals. See, they deserve something to live to, don't they? Toodaloo.